Canada's Minister of Transport has summoned airline representatives to Ottawa after 3 high-profile events involving passengers living with disabilities who use wheelchairs. They claim they were not given the assistance or respect they needed. Joining us now is Chrissie Bawn, who experienced something similar when flying with her son Tanner Bawn in 2010. His custom wheelchair was broken on an Air Canada flight and he couldn't leave his hotel room for days. Chrissie, first of all, thank you for joining us. What goes through your mind when you hear stories like this 14 years after Tanner's case?
Well, sorry, Dan. I'm actually kind of speechless. That's the first time I've heard. Just God bless. I send all my love, my heart, just to the family. I'm speechless at that. I was already appalled at what happened to the fellow Rodney, I believe. So, I, what can I say? I mean, please ask me some questions. First of all, thank you so much for letting me have. It's just so unfortunate that after all these years, after what happened to us, and we weren't the first. It was just it happened to become news, right? Thankfully for Twitter, my sister was with us because otherwise, Air Canada would not have done anything for us then. And I'd prayed and hoped and thought that something they were supposed to have rectified it back then. So I'm sorry. I'm sort of at a loss for words right now. Like I'm trying to not cry, but because my heart just breaks, I'm stunned.
That's okay, and we appreciate how difficult this. I can't even imagine how difficult this would be. As much as you're able to share with us, what is the impact of these kind of mistakes, if we can call it mistreatment, on people who live with disabilities? Do you think?
Well, I mean, it's the dignity, the lack of dignity, the lack of compassion, the lack of respect. I mean, it's not just the physical pain. I mean, I can't even imagine the emotional pain that the family, I mean, there's all of that too. It's impossible to put into words. I mean, for this gentleman that just passed, this was a heart attack, for Rodney, for Tanner, for other people, and I've heard other stories over the years, but we were, you pay less attention because we thought it had changed. It's horrific. It breaks your heart. It breaks their heart. Your heart just breaks all around. You're already battling something, and for them to just blow it off again. I didn't want to come into this I don't have any unkind words, but it's absolutely appalling. I really have nothing nice that I can say about Air Canada as a corporation, to be perfectly frank. I'm stunned, and I really hope, I know I'm sorry if I should let you take the wheel because I could just go off on it.
Yeah, we appreciate your time. Lastly, what do you want to see come out of the meeting between the Transport Minister and Air Canada officials?
Well, so what can the government do at this point? When our incident happened, it was the Minister of Transportation in Ontario. And I'm not quite sure. I mean, first of all, they need and must be held accountable, even on a basic human rights level. I mean, for us, I can't even imagine what we would have done. Tanner couldn't physically even move his arms. I mean, they would have had to deal with us. And then they have to change, but they were supposed to have changed 14 years ago, 13 years ago, right? And that still hasn't happened. I think more people need to speak up, whether it's just in current or, I don't think there should be any time frame. I think it's about time. And because we don't have any other choices, Canadians are very limited options. We are forced to use them. I have had the benefit of flying with other airlines throughout the world. And I'm sad to say I'm a proud Canadian. Air Canada is the worst airline I have ever traveled with, and it's not just with Tanner. There have been experiences otherwise. I understand that there was a celebrity that had just said it shouldn't represent Canada in no way. I'm so sorry to say that, but it's just appalling. So, they know. I don't know how they regulate Air Canada, but the government hasn't been doing their job either then, right?
Chrissie Bawn, the mother of Tanner Bawn, we appreciate your time and your perspective on a very difficult topic. Thank you very much for joining us.
They can just be better, right? God bless. Thank you for the time.